session, so it can be given later. All right, so the recording is on and we are good to go. Okay, so what we are going to discuss today is something, the basic of it or the setup of it is already there. So this is Cypress the new test automation framework, and we are going to see today how we can implement page object pattern with Cypress. So before that, if you have not got chance to look at what we did before, please go through our channel and take a look at Cypress Test Automation, the first video, and you will get to know about this setup. And we will continue on top of that. But before that, I will also explain how our setup looks like. And then you can also find whatever code we are going to develop today in the Hello Cypress dev repository. So this is our repository in GitHub, and you can refer it for future. So all the developments, all the future developments will happen on this website, and you can start using it. All right. So this was our first setup, initial setup, and this is the VS Code editor who are new. And the setup, I'll just quickly introduce it. How we are using Node package manager and the Node setup because it is a JavaScript test automation. And if you are not familiar with Node and Node npm commands or something, please refer to the first video and then choose for this video. So so the first the package JSON, how it looks like, we have some small scripts, and we will use these scripts to launch Cypress and also test Cypress. So Cypress is a JavaScript test automation framework, and we are going to use it for automating our sample application, which is the computer database website. And let's see how it looks like. So sorry, here we will use npm run open Cypress. This is the command, and this command will launch the Cypress on my machine, and it will launch a couple of scenarios. So this is my spec file, and where did it find it? It's in my folder. So this is how the folder structure looks like, and this is a root folder, and the fixtures, integration, plugins, then support, and then the artifacts or the videos. You can take a look here. Then the next thing, this is our spec file, and it loaded 2 scenarios, and the syntax is pretty straightforward. It's Mocha syntax, and you can see that it is following describe and it concepts. So you define your concept here, your scenario here, and then you describe your feature here, and then the scenarios. So in the it block, you describe the test. So the first test is that it should show me the computer database page, and the second test case is just for navigation, that I click on some button, that first it should be visible, then I click on it, and then I see some other button, and then I can navigate back by clicking the cancel. So what that is I click this button, I click here, and I see this page. That's the scenario what we are talking about. And today we will also add a computer. So here you can click, and you can also fill these details. So we are going to do that. So let's run this scenario, and first let's see how it works. So when I ran that command, it opened this window, and I can just click on this scenario, and it will launch. It will test both the tests. As you can see, since why we are opting for Cypress is because of its speed as compared to Selenium projects. And but of course, this is pretty new software, and it is very promising in terms of JavaScript, in field of JavaScript. So and it also provide you with feature of going back in time in your test, right? So you can figure out what went wrong and what actually happened when you clicked on it, and you can take a look at your application. Okay, and today we are going to develop the page object model for this. In JavaScript, it's very easy as compared to Java, I feel. So how I approach it is in the support folder of Cypress. I just created a DSL folder, and in this folder I will create my page objects. So first let's touch upon what is a page object. So in terms of automation and in terms of scalability, so there are two concepts: the way of writing the test like this, and the way of writing a test which is more descriptive of what is happening. So in the test, one is I can just click and it is very technical, and when a normal person or tomorrow someone else of your team wants to review it, he will maybe not understand what you have written. And also the second point is, when you why you opt for page object is because in when you look at these pages, when you look at your application always have a view. So the MVC, I'm talking about MVC concept. So your application will always have a view. So the view is your first page, and when you do something, of course, I'm talking about only for the web applications. So when you do something, it does it changes its state, right? But it always present you with some information. And we are testing only with Cypress at this moment how the user interaction can be automated. But you can also there are a couple of more things you can do with Cypress. For example, you can also automate unit tests. You can also automate API tests, and we will cover it later. So for now, we will only stick to the page object. So let's go back to the initial website, and let's create our first page. So the first page by default, I prefer to be a simple page.js, which will help me to navigate directly to the rest of the pages. And the next page, as you can see, I'm adding the extension JS because it's a JavaScript file. So next, we will have is landing page.js. After that, we will have when you click on this button, you will have a computer or the add a computer page, right? So I can name it like this: add computer page, just to be more descriptive, right? And here in this page, I will be following JavaScript classes as to be in line with Java concepts. So because the JavaScript also supports the classes, and it's easy to refer and read. So let's go. Okay, first let's write a class. So class is the same as the file name. So that is the page. And here in JavaScript, you have to export it explicitly, and so that you can import it in some other file. This class is not going to import automatically in some other files. Of course, the IDE does that, but you have to write. You can also write it explicitly. So what I'm going to do, this is the keyword: export default class page. Write something. Okay. Yeah, so here we will exporting this page object, and then here I'm going to write so what I want to do first, right? I want to first navigate to this landing page. So let's write a method for it. So that will be or first write a constructor, since we are writing a class. So the constructor will be the same on, sorry, in JavaScript, sorry, you name it explicitly as constructor. And now in this constructor, I would say at this moment, I don't want anything to happen. Next, we will take a look. So in page class, I am going to write some static methods, and those static methods, why I'm going to write, I'll explain it when I will move to the test. So here I'm going to go to write go to landing page, and in this case we are writing cy dot visit. This is the standard cy command. So whatever command we have here, I am writing that. So it's same. So go to landing page, and then this will return me something, right? And that is going to be my landing page, and it will return me new landing page like this. So why it's complaining? Sorry, it's yeah, it's let me quickly take a look at my source. Yeah, so here yeah, I'm just returning. So sorry, I'm mixed up between Java and JavaScript, but here you don't have to provide a return type for the methods in JavaScript. So you can directly provide the class names, and then what it will do is, so in my command, I return like cy.visit that particular page, right? And similarly, I can directly visit some other pages if I want. So I can write, for example, static go to add a computer page, right? And its URL, something like that. So for now, we are going to stick with this. The next stage is when I'm on here. So let's again write export class landing page. And here there will be one more constructor. And this time we will, in this constructor, what is a constructor? Whenever this class loads, it's getting called the first time. So I will first, sorry, it's the IDE which do not recognize CY, so it automatically choose the first one. So in this constructor, what we will do is we will make sure that our application is loaded. When I launch this website, there is at least a unique element on this application. So what that element is for us, it's the add a new computer element. And for that, we will just refer the ID. And we are using jQuery locators. So if you are not familiar with it, how it works, please take a look at our previous videos to get the idea about how I'm writing a hashtag or what here. So here, first I get the element, and then I'm writing an assertion. So the assertion is you can write with dot should, and here I can say just like should be visible. And all of this, whatever I'm writing, Cypress has a very good documentation. So you just have to go to their website, go to docs, and you can search it via assertions. And here there are some BDD assertions, like with expect also you can use. You can also use the TDD assertions, and what we are using is the should assertion. So that you can also do something like this. So it should have dot length, or not have class, have value, for example. So the text area have the value or not. And with beauty of Cypress is that you don't have to write explicit weights. And it's because the should and get are, both of them are synchronous. So you will always it will always return you something, so either if it could not find, so it will also return you that. If it finds it, so it will return you that as well. But there is a default timeout which is around 30 seconds for the element, and it is more than enough for any application to load. So that's settled. So we have our landing page here, and the next thing which we want is to identify our elements, right? So our scenario is we want to on this application we want to add a new computer. So on the landing page I will see two things. One, when I click here, when I click add a computer and I click this button, I get this alert message. And the same thing we want to automate. So let's see what I should write. So let's first write the methods, what I'm doing. So static click add button, right? And here, sorry, I should not use static. We can directly use the methods. Why is that? I will show you in the test. So here I will click on my button, and that button is add a computer. So here you can select the add syntax, sorry, the ID, and that will click. And first, as I said, this will get verified, and then you click on it. So you don't have to write this again that it is visible or not. First, then it clicks it, and it returns you something. So it will return new add computer page. You can write it, and then you can also import. So yeah, this statement, let me come back to it later. So for now, what I did, I wrote click add button, which is a method, the business logic that is clicking on this, and then going to the second page. Yes, and here, this is our second page, add computer page. So this I also have to export so that I can import it in somewhere else. So export class, and the class name is add computer page. And here also I will write a constructor and a method. For now, I am just writing one method, and like fill computer details. And here we will fill these details. So we already have that logic here on this. Oh, sorry, not here, but we can write it now. So let's fill it. So cy dot, sorry, again. Yes, so cy dot get, and here the computer name, you can get the name as ID, as you can see, and you can write it like this. And then you can have first filling into that, right? But as you can see that we need to also make sure that this page is loaded before I start writing on it. So as I said, we define that here. So we will define that create this computer button, which is unique on this page, is visible. So how to do that? You can use the classes, which is unique as they look, because there will always be a primary class in a stable situation or the stable application. So should be visible. Of course, you can ask like your developers to assign an ID, but as you can see on this application that there is no ID attribute like for here, like we have for this input element. So you can ask your developer, it is easy to do. So they can just add an ID and then you can easily locate that element. But since here there is no ID, that's why we opted the class name. So once we have the class name, then I will type my computer name, and then I am going to type the next fields. So I'm just writing the code for the next fields. Like this. Let me just copy paste it quickly for 2, and here yeah, one more, but here there is a select box. So I'll in Cypress, as you can see, the code is very limited. You don't have to write a lot, and I'm going to prefer the Samsung Electronics because it's the last. And then I'm going to change the IDs so it will work for all the fields. It's discontinued, and then it's select company. Sorry, the ID is company. Yes. So this way I got the elements and I filled the details, right, for those 4 elements. And then I want to, oh sorry, I don't want statics here. I keep adding in for no reason. Okay, so and then the next step is I want to click on this button, right? So the action is click, and then the button is create. So create computer, right? So click create computer, and then the idea here is you can easily get the ID, which is the same which we used here. So I can just copy it and just right click, sorry, click. And this will return me again the landing page. So Yes. So as you can see, it automatically, my ID detected that I am using this class. And here also, I have to, let's say if ID, again, try to import it automatically, not manually. So as you can see, it also imported that particular page. And now our functionality is complete in terms of pages. Now let's head back to the there is one more thing. Now this, we are writing a test, right? So we also want to verify that on the landing page that alert is visible. So let's say when I click something, I should see this message. So I'll just simply copy the class name and verify alert message, and I'm going to verify that cy.get, and here, since these both are classes, I need to use dot, and then should have dot text, and I'm going to pass the message or alert, mostly should be this. Should have dot text. So this is you can find easily the nice documentation of Cypress. So I don't have to write it explicitly. And in the end of every method, I'm going to return something. So this way, as you can see, so I'm returning here the page of the one which I'm navigating. But since I'm on the same page, we can use return this, so that you can also chain the methods. I will come back to that as well, but let's quickly add this, return this to the one where we forgot to add. So both of these methods are now returning the same classes, like field computer details and the verify. Then let's head back to our application and let's refactor it. So here what we need is only the page, right? The page class which we added here, so that I can go and it will return me something. So I'll just import from, and as you can see, I am here. So here, import page from this. So how does this work? This is a relative path. So I'm here, then one step up, double dot, and then one more step up. I will be in navigation, as you can see, and here, sorry. Oh, I don't want to be in navigation. I want to be in support folder, and inside that the DSL, and inside that I want to import the page. Yeah, and you can quickly verify if you can actually navigate to it. So I can. So let's head back to our test. I can now write page dot here. I can, the method is in the page, as you can see, go to landing page. So you can write like this, and here you can initialize some classes, or in this case, landing page. I'm going to define it let. So there are two concepts, constant and let. Let you can change, constant you cannot change. This is a variable. So I can now get this variable in this before each, so that I have a landing page, and on that landing page, I need to check that this should be visible, right, in this test. And we have not added a method for it. So we can also add verify, uh, add computer button is visible, right? And here you can define the same. Don't get confused with why I'm writing it 2 times. It's only because you have a way of saying that this is something which is always should be there, and this is something as an assertion in my case. So and you can also refactor it more, but for now it's fine. So landing page dot okay, do not show me. So I'm going to go, oh, okay. And also you can import here landing page from landing page. So this is the very less code, but it now allows you to go to the landing page, and also that page will be visible, available here. So as you can see, you can traverse and this will return you something. So now this landing page points to the one item returned from this method, and you go back, and in this you can find your functions. So in this test, I just want to verify my add computer logic, right? Button is visible or not. That's the only thing I'm doing. And then the next is, let's remove this test, but here I will write like should be able to add a new computer. So what I'm going to do is landing page dot, so first I'm here as page dot go to landing page, and then I'm going to click on it. So the method will be click add button dot click add button, and this method will going to return me a computer detail page, right? So I'll write it like this, and on the computer detail page, yeah, so here when you click add button, you can quickly see I can fill this information. I can use this method, and that method is part of this, like that. And this is less code in a spec file or your test file, and you can very easily see what this test is doing. So it is verifying that that particular button is visible, and in the next step I'm verifying that should be able to add a new computer. And as I told you before, in this method add a computer, I can actually returning this, so I can actually chain this particular method. What is chaining? In JavaScript, you, or even in Java, you can return the same class and then use that class to do something like this. So since this is, let me reformat it. So computer page has fill computer details method, this one, which is returning again the same page, and now I know I'm on the same page, so I can also use this method. So like this, and this is the benefit of page object. You can chain the steps what you are doing. So as you can see, computer detail page, fill my computer details, and click the create computer, and this will return me again a landing page, right? Let's verify. So here it will return me a landing page, and that's it. Even I don't have to write, but it's good to have to use it later. So how I want to use it is I want to verify the alert message, right? Since that is our test, that I want to verify my message to have, and it is telling me the message which I want to see. So the message is done, computer has been added. That is my test. And here that my computer name is what I have written here. And introduce date format is also, there is some validation on that page, which is just expecting the date in this format. So let's do it. Let's correct that. And here I would like to have this way. So now our test is complete, and you can see that it is much better readable than the previous case. There is also one more refactoring I want to add, that you can also do something like, as you can see, I'm using it 3 times. So you can also say like constant add button in the top. That is also more correct way in page object, I would say. What is this complaining? Yeah, let's write let. Okay, it's complaining for some error, but it's fine. Let's see if it works. So you can also do something like, you should be able to do it something like this. So you can later just change it here at one place, and then you don't have to worry about changing it everywhere. So let's see if this works. Let's see. And how to verify? We can go back and try to run it, and let's see where it fails. Okay, it unexpected token, and that may be because the method which is returning the promises. So I would say something like add in this case, and write it this way. This. Um, hmm. Yeah, some syntax error, but fine. It's a last resort. If you really think you want, you can take a look, but it's not that big. This is also much more readable. So it's in order to improve the readability, we follow this page object pattern, and that is what it's doing. Let's see. Okay, and yes, so it already ran the test. So here, as you can see, it is typing something. Yes, so now you can see that my assertion was here. The good thing of Cypress is it tells you where the test fails, right? And as you can see here, it's saying that I'm expecting to have text done, computer test has been created, but the text was, it also has some new line characters. So what is a new line character? Here, if you see that in the message, there is already some new lines, right? So there is enter here. So that's the case, and that's an assertion which failed. So we can correct it, but it's up to us. I mean, is this really a bug, or is that supposed to be like that? But it looks fine. So you can anytime say, instead of have text, you can say contain. So the contain means it will just make sure that that particular text is available in a series, in a line. So that's what that is about. So as you can see, it now passes to contain now. And as you can see, the test is so fast, and that's the benefit of it. And let's run it also from command line. So that helps us to run in the end on the our CI server. So how to run it? Use npm run test. And uh, why this? As you can see, it runs some Cypress run record key command, and what it will do, it will execute the tests, and then it will also upload it to a remote server. So as you can see, it executed the test, and now it's uploading the result, and it uploaded to. Oh, I can also see it from. Yeah, on this screen. There is runs folder, and in this runs you can see a few seconds ago it uploaded something. So when you click on it, it will take you to the dashboard service which we discussed previously, and it will show you your execution and also the status of it. And you can also, if it fails, it can also give you more artifacts like the screenshots if there are any, and the video of the execution. So that's the really cool feature of Cypress, to actually capture more artifacts so that you can come back to the developer and tell them where it actually went wrong. So yeah, that is it about page object pattern. And if you have any questions, you can also ask. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.